Hello, I'm Eduardo. I've been a web developer for, I just got a drop of water on my head. I'm a web developer for almost 11 years, and I just wanted to talk about professional pride. I got some notes because I tend to ramble a lot if I don't think in advance what I want to say. In short, what is professional pride? As I define it, it's the idea that what you make, you feel good about, that you are making something that you consider good, high quality, at least to the degree that your abilities allow. Yeah? And I think there's a lot of ranges for this, but first I want to talk about what kind of programmers there are, why they program, and I think there's a couple ends of that spectrum, I think. One is just the programmer that loves to program. He programs for the love of it, meaning even the physical act of typing the code is somehow pleasurable or enjoyable for this person. Public examples of this probably include like Casey Muratori, who is a public figure, John Carmack. But then, I mean, on some level, everybody knows somebody that just likes to program. And if AI disappeared tomorrow, for them it doesn't matter. In the case of Casey, he's even said publicly that he doesn't use AI at all because for him, what's enjoyable is programming. And AI takes away even the typing, which he finds enjoyable. On the other end, you have people like very public figure, Andrej Karpathy, I think that's how you say his name, who, I mean, he basically invented the term vibe coding to mean you don't even read the code. You know, professionally, he's a machine learning scientist. He's not a programmer by trade. And on some level, he basically doesn't care about the quality of the code as long as it comes out and it works. It does what he needs. And I've tried to do a little bit of vibe coding in machine learning kind of exercises, and yeah, it works really well for that particular case. As long as you're not thinking about performance, you're thinking just about titles or something like that. But I did actually want to make a point. He actually does have some kind of pride about his code, even him. I heard him say in a recent interview that, you know, he doesn't really look at the code because when he looks at it, it almost gives him a heart attack. It's so shit, you know? And even he decides, okay, but what I care about is the business side of things, so I will not look at the code so that, you know, it comes out right. Or rather, I can deliver what I want to deliver, which is not beautiful code, although if he could deliver beautiful code, I'm sure he would be happier. And then we have extremes about pride on code. And for here, I would like to quote John Carmack, paraphrase at least. He said something along the lines of, you know, with all this big talk about performance, when we actually did performance tests on real consumer machines, or whatever they did make them on, there was a 1 frame per second variation, meaning it was supposed to be 40 frames or 60 frames, and then it was sometimes 59 frames or 61 frames, this kind of variation. And he literally would not allow that to go out because it would hurt his pride to be talking about these things as if, you know, he cared about them, and then he let something go out that was not up to his standard. So then you have those extremes of professional pride. And at that point, it might be about ego as well, but I mean, all of these things are a little bit interconnected, and they're not necessarily negative. It just depends on the context or the angle that you're considering it in. Funny enough, the next note is pride is not bad. In our culture, pride is bad. We are supposed to be humble. unless you're big alpha male or whatever. But that might have been taken a little bit out of context. I mean, pride, as for example the Bible talks about it, it's not pride in doing a good, like, you shouldn't do a good job and then feel good about it, be proud about it. That's not what they're talking about. The Bible is talking about pride in terms of thinking that you're better than God, or thinking that you can do things without God. That's the kind of pride that the Bible is talking about, which is totally separate from feeling good about what you've made, or having some kind of standard where you want to feel good about what you've made. Yeah? So with this video, I just want to encourage people to be more proud about what they make. And then how do you do that? Well, if you want to have pride, you need to do the things that make you proud. In other words, the kind of things that produce the kind of product that makes you proud. And in order to do that, you first need to be the kind of person, assume the identity of a person that considers pride an important part of their job, their work, or their personality. At least professional pride. So in this ideal sequence is be, do, have, right? You become somebody that does the things that allow you to have the thing. But we can reverse engineer it and say, well, I want to have pride about what I'm doing, therefore I'm going to do the things that make me proud, so that I can be a proud person. You can work it out any which way makes you more comfortable, but I think that's an effective way to do it. So this is my formal invitation for you to assume the identity of somebody that is prideful about their work and hopefully can produce things that they are indeed proud about. For myself, I'm doing this by putting myself out there and trying to spread my ideas more, because I think somebody will find them useful, even if it's not everybody. And I mean, I've been a web developer for almost 11 years, but I've never really done any large programs in a low-level language. So that's something I want to make. And it doesn't have to be a massive project like a video game, because that is a massive project if you don't do it with an engine like Godot or Unity or something. But I do want to make some program that I can be proud about in a low-level language, so that hopefully I can consider myself closer to what I consider to be a master programmer. Peace.